Go.
Good morning and welcome to Shamanic Sundays. Thank you for joining us today. Hi, Dad.
Hey, good morning.
Always good
everybody.
To be here with you, Pops,
and you,
and with all of you.
Oh,
thank you for being you in this world. There's only one you, and we appreciate you choosing to show up and spend this time with us.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there are always many demands on you, and we show up each Sunday to share some of this guy's wisdom that he has garnered over the years as a bridge builder between ancient wisdom ways and bringing in some of my own perspective and just trying to create more channels for healing, light, love, joy, peace, and just regenerative world. So thanks for joining us in that journey. We like to start off with a prayer in the spirit of sacred reciprocity, giving thanks before we ask. So, although I'm kind of asking you to do the prayer, but
Well, prayer of thanksgiving. Hey, we wouldn't be here without you, Great Spirit, giving us this breath of life. So thank you for that. Obviously, you believe in us and want us here because you give us this breath of life flowing into each and every one of us with this invisible energy that we can't see, life force energy, creative, dynamic life force energy. So thank you for believing in us, manifesting us, maintaining us, protecting us, healing us, and helping us to learn and grow and wake up and bringing us together, joining hearts, minds, and spirits with gratitude for our ancestors and the ancestor spirits of the land we live on, and good medicine to you all and for our families and our friends and our teachers, and also for the challenging situations of our personal lives and the times that we're living in, the anxiety about the unknown and what could happen one way or the other with elections coming up. And so thank you for the peace that lives at the center of our being as a gift of grace from you beneath the storms of thoughts and feelings and images and stories that our minds can cook up to create anxiety and fear. That underneath all of that, through grace, through your grace, is that place of deep inner peace. And may we use our time here together to connect with that deep, deep place of inner peace, equanimity that lives at the center of our being. And from that place, work skillfully with whatever's triggered inside of us by these challenges of these times. And thank you for the gift of awareness to help us notice what's taking place and make conscious choice how to be in relationship to the truth of what is that has the potential, and may it be realized, to open the doorway for fullest blossoming, greatest good to come through us in whatever situation or interaction or relationship we're dealing with. And since we're all in one relationship, light and love and appreciation, like Kimberly said, to all of you. Oh, Ombrios.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thank you. So you basically just opened the door perfectly for what I wanted to talk to you about this week, because in 2 days we've got the elections for the American president and many state and regional elections across our united nations that definitely are not so united right now. And I'm finding myself very triggered, angry, disgusted, sad, anxious, depressed, fill in any, kind of challenging emotion you can think of. And I know many of you are too. We listen to the 24/7 news telling us, so-and-so said this, so-and-so did this, so-and-so did this. And it's just like, oh my gosh, how is that possible? That's just like disgusting. That's horrible. He's lying, she's lying. And I know that both sides feel the same way. We're all scared that our the positive parts of our country are about to go away if the wrong person wins. And I think a lot of this is based on our grasping for truth, that like, I know the truth. He knows the truth, or she knows the truth. And so I thought it'd be really interesting to talk about truth today. And I was going to read you. I just pulled up a couple of like I said, I actually asked Pi AI, which is a slightly kinder, more ethical version of Chat GPT, if anyone's interested in playing around with that. It's literally the URL is pi.ai. And I said, can you, I said, please provide some quotes on what truth is, according to highly respected theologians, scientists, philosophers, and journalists.
Interesting. Let's hear what they have to say.
Okay. So from Mahatma Gandhi, we got, truth is like a vast tree, which yields more and more fruit the more you nurture it.
Wait a minute, let's go really slow with this so we can take it in.
Okay.
Truth
is like a vast tree.
A big vast tree with all kinds of fruit,
which yields more and more fruit the more you nurture it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Got to sit with that one. Again, that was Mahatma Gandhi. Then, the opposite of a correct statement is a false statement, but the opposite of a profound truth may well be another profound truth. Niels Bohr, a physicist.
No, say that one again. That's
I know. We kind of got to take in all these slowly, right? The opposite of a correct statement is a false statement, but the opposite of a profound truth may well be another profound truth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys got that?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Truth is not something outside to be discovered. It is something inside to be realized. Osho, philosopher.
Okay.
Yeah. I hadn't heard of Osho. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He had spiritual communities up in Oregon that a number of my friends were in for many years, and did wonderful pushing the envelope work, and then it kind of a shadow emerged with his second in command. And I'm not sure where he was with all of that, because he kind of dropped into a background, but they turned into, like, some aspects of it got into conflicts with the neighbors, and there was threats and violence, and so it just deteriorated in a bad way. And I think that woman actually was prosecuted on it for a number of things she did. I don't know if she ever went to jail, but Osho was a Indian guru meaning teacher, with a large group of following, and did a lot of good work before the shadow came into their community.
Yeah. It's kind of why I have a problem with the word guru, I feel like, or anybody you're putting up on sort of a like spiritual pedestal. It's like they're going to show you like the way. That's why I appreciate you and the way you stay pretty darn humble with your background and training and experience and education and teachings, and people that adore you and really look to you for wisdom teachings around the world. But I feel like maybe me and my mom and my sister keep him grounded enough, that we help
that's
that.
True. It also helps me to experience what the words of an old song that says, "What kind of fool am I?" Well, I live with myself 24/7, so okay. I know I'm basically a fool.
All right. Okay, next quote. We're going to jump to, I love this one. "The truth is rarely pure and never simple." Oscar Wilde. The truth is rarely pure and never simple.
I don't know that I agree with that one, but go ahead.
"The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off." Gloria Steinem. I like that one. Yep. Yeah, that's a good one. Yep.
Blessings to her. She's an early pioneer in women's rights and human rights, and as a courageous woman. Thank you.
"The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off." Gloria Steinem. Okay. Next one. "Truth is the property of being in accord with fact or reality." Aristotle. Now, of course, we're living in a place right now where we have people claiming to that there's alternate facts. So that quote in and of itself, I think, doesn't really help us along right now, but interesting. "Truth is what stands the test of experience." Albert Einstein.
Truth, say that again, truth?
"Truth is what stands the test of experience."
Yeah.
Albert Einstein.
Go along with that.
Okay.
Al had a few good things going, a few good thoughts along the way.
Yeah. Buddha said, There are only two mistakes one can make along the road to truth: not going all the way and not starting.
It's interesting.
And then a Native American indigenous quote that I don't actually know where it comes from, but and it's not directly about truth, but it just makes me think of truth, that we are all one child spinning through Mother Sky. I think it was a Shawnee tribal person that said that, but just that goes back to the truth of what I believe, that we're all part of one interconnected ecosystem or web of life, and there's certain truths or principles to that. I just wrote about that a little bit, but you can find that on my LinkedIn or my website. Now, I wanted to bring it back to you, and if you could share, like, what would you say is a shamanic perspective of truth? And again, the reason we're talking about this is because we're going to be being told we are being told very contradictory truths in the news and the media. And I do a lot of research, like trying to look at all different sides, and it's pretty confusing. So, yeah. So what's a shamanic perspective on truth that might help us in the coming days or weeks, depending on how things work out?
Well, first, a couple of thoughts. One is, I think was it Heisenberg? No. I forget who it was, German philosopher, who said there was two ways to be fooled. There's two ways to be fooled. One is to believe something that's true, is to believe something is true that's not true. One way to be fooled is to believe something is true that's not true. And the other way of being fooled is to not believe something that's true. So that's, I just want to add that into those quotes there in terms of the cauldron of our reflections here. And
there's one by Chief Joseph, I think, I'm not sure if I pronounced it right, Nez Perce. Nez Perce. And I think he was the one who said, like, that it doesn't take many words to speak the truth. I'm going to look that up because I remember that being really, like, if you're speaking the truth, it's just clear and concise, and you don't need to keep. So we can just hang up now. Let's just no, just kidding.
Yeah. But, I do like that saying, especially "the truth shall set you free," and then that's a witty addition from Gloria Steinem that might piss you off at first because it might not fit in your ego's comfort zone of what you feel comfortable with. The truth shall set you free, and then another is healing comes from joining with the truth of what is. The truth of what is. So I think we have all of us have a built-in bullshit detector inside of us. And it's easy for anyone to open their mouth and say whatever words they want to say and send the acoustical message through space into our waves, into our ears, receiving them, and then our brains, minds interpret that and respond to it in whatever way. We're preconditioned by unconsciously conditioned thought patterns and perceptions. And remembering we're all, on a basic level, we're all creating from the raw energy that comes into our senses. We're all creating our own virtual reality. None of us is seeing directly exactly what's happening, quote, on outside of the other side of our epidermis, defining our physical bodies that we usually identify with as who we are, forgetting that we're way much more than that. And it's true that way much more of who we are, attuning mindful awareness to the wisdom that lives inside of us, that's embedded in us for billions of years of evolution about what's important for us to pay attention to. And if we didn't have that wisdom embedded in us, we wouldn't be here. There wouldn't have been through all the different challenges over the millions and billions of years of life evolving here that led to us as two-legged primates with a prefrontal cortex that has self-consciousness to think and talk about these things in the ways that we are, that there's embedded in us that sensitivity that knows if we're listening to when someone's speaking. Is this energy coming out of this person? Is it true what they're saying or not about whatever it is they're saying? And differentiating between while they may think it's true what they're saying, within us is then the dynamic of, well, is that true for me as well or not? Is my experience different? And says, no, that doesn't feel right to me in terms of my own experience, because our best teacher in life absolutely is our own experience. The absolute greatest teacher of our lives is our own experience. Paying attention through your own awareness, your experience of how the universe works, how nature works, and how you work in it. What leads to skillful and fruitful outcome, and how to interact with the reality of what's going on in our bodies and in the field, and what's unskillful and creates suffering and fear and anxiety. So, what's true for you? What's true for me? I think it's really important for me anyway to do my homework about any situation that I'm interested in learning about. Listen to other people's opinions, read, listen. Also take note of where they're coming from, their value base, and their orientation about reality, and what hidden agendas they may have, and that's leading to their beliefs, and they're trying to get me to believe what they believe is true. So do your homework, but then ultimately take it down inside yourself into the lens of cognition, of understanding based on your life experience. Does this feel right inside of me? Does this feel true? Is this true in terms of my experience of life? Or am I experiencing something, remembering we're multidimensional beings? We are multidimensional beings, and each level of our being vibrating in different ways, and its existence is to pay attention to what's going on in the field, so that I can create skillful responses to it to keep living as long as I can, and pass the seed on and nurture it and protect life, so life can continue on. So that wisdom guidance inside of us is attuned to paying attention to what's true, not what we fabricate or hope or wish is true, when it's not true in terms of what's directly happening. You go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, because when, so, what I'm hearing is like, we are our own best guide and teacher, and our inner nature knows what's true, right? But some of that is influenced by our education. So, and the teachings that we've been raised with. So someone may have been raised to believe and really feel at peace knowing that people of a certain skin color or sexual orientation or gender orientation are being put in jail, or are being killed, or are being persecuted because they are bad, they are other. And I know that with that. I'm not saying me, Kimberly, but some people believe they know that with every cell of their being, because that's what they have been raised with. So they feel that as truth.
Mm-hmm.
So can we dig even deeper to again, sort of like a shamanic, like we're sitting in a room with someone who says, yeah, this is my belief. And what kind of shamanic practices or questions could you bring to that conversation to bring forth maybe a different perspective on either side?
Well, we all have our own experiences, what you call educated, most of which is unconsciously conditioned into our psyches. And then there's that which is consciously conditioned by what we learn in school or other institutions of learning, quote unquote, learning. So for me, it's it's recognizing that everybody is walking around with their own virtual reality that they're projecting out onto people in life, and so for me, um, I'm discovering that it's important for me to not just demonize my ego reactivity, demonize the other. In my case, the Trump or Bannon or whomever, Putin or whatever. Um, Demonize these people who believe differently than me. The QAnon, what is it? QAnon or think whatever it is, the radical right
conspiracy theories.
Yeah, whatever. But if I truly want healing, then I need to not be in reactivity to when I hear somebody else saying, what are to me are crazy and dangerous things, but try to understand how they developed their particular version of virtual reality. What were their experiences growing up? I mean, is a basic truth. When we say hurtful things about others, when we do hurtful things toward others for whatever reasons, where they're perceived other, they're black, they're brown, they're native, they're transsexual, whatever, Muslim or Jew or Christian or whatever it is. Curiosity. I think for me, it's curiosity to understand. Well, they believe that's true as much as I believe what I believe is true. And we both have the right to think what we believe is true. We have that right. And if we interact with each other on the basis of perceiving ourselves as opposites and in opposition, that just feeds more polarization and the violent energy of anger and blame to the other, and how fucked up they are, and if they can only see the light the way I do, and so for me, concern for is to try to, the energy coming out of me is not my own violence of judgment toward others, but doing the work inside of me so I can transform reactivity and keep my heart open. And so I want to understand within the context that Trump or whoever says hurtful things about other people because they're hurting. And people who do hurtful, violent acts to other people do that because they're hurting. And they're in fear, because you don't hurt others unless you're hurting and unless you're in fear. And all you've learned is how to hurt the others to try to create a protection for yourself from your fear, which of course never works, because the seeds of violence produce more violence. It's just more and more violence, more and more reactivity. So for me, a shamanic perspective or spiritual perspective is remembering that the spirit is equally present in that other person. Spirit's equally present in whatever my ego judges of the other that I disagree with. And so if I'm interacting with them, either in person or in my mind, responding to what I hear about they say on the media or this, that, or the other thing. So remember, they wouldn't be saying or acting that way if they weren't hurting and in fear.
So like a truth in that is that when people lash out, it's because they're hurting themselves.
Yeah.
So that's like a truth we could go back to.
Yeah. And so, go ahead.
Yeah.
So for me, it raises a curiosity. So let's say you have tremendous belief in the truth that people of color are inferior to people of Caucasian people, and you just believe that with 100%. So rather than arguing you with a person about that, so well, that's an interesting way of looking at it. I look at it a different way, but help me understand how you can't believe. I'm curious to hear what experience you have, because when we were all born, none of us came in with any of those kind of beliefs. And if you watch little kids playing, they just check out each other's energy, and they could just go play with the ones they feel good energy with, no matter what they look like or sound like or shape or form or none of those things. They're just listening and feeling the energy, and they go play with the kids and have a good time that they feel that energy connection with. So that's how we all come in. So if we're running a program of hate and violence and judgment and prejudice and racism toward whoever the other is. So I'm curious, what kind of experience did you have to bring you to that conclusion? And it's important for me to share that questioning without coming from a true place of curiosity as compared to judgment. Because my energy is coming from a judgment place. You're dumb shit to believe that. I can't believe, your head's so far up your butt. You can't. If it's coming from
bleep, bleep, no.
If it's coming from that place, they're going to feel that and close down and not being open up. But if they're feeling the energy of genuine, I'm curious. I'm not blaming you or judging you or finding fault with you. It's really different from me, what I believe and feel. But I'm remembering spirits inside of you, equally inside of me. We're both spiritual beings having a human experience, and we're looking through different lenses of virtual reality that have been created by our experiences. So I'm curious to hear about your experiences to lead you to those thoughts and feelings. And my experience in talking with people in those kind of situations, when they don't fear the judgment, they talk about their experiences, and that opens a doorway to looking at the stories they created based on what they experienced, like maybe from parents telling them about this or that or the other thing, and it opens the possibility to look at. Now, that's the story you were told, and that's the story you created. It was passed on about people of color, and where does that go back to? Where does that come from? Do some exploration about that, and that opens the door for the person to look at those beliefs that they've been holding, as compared to if they're feeling judgment for me and attack, and that I'm better than them, and they're stupid to believe that. Just tightens in more polarization. So for me, if I really want healing in the world and waking up to remember that we're all connected, and that the essence of our being is love, and there's not a reason that we need to be fearful of each other, because we can also learn how to be in relationship with each other, to respect and appreciate the gifts that each of us have, and create institutional ways of meeting and cultural and social ways of meeting our needs that provide equal opportunity and support to everyone. We can create a win-win world for everybody, a peaceful and just and beautiful, diverse, win-win, healthy, happy world. That's the potential we have. So to me, that's a spiritual perspective, and shamanism for me is about opening to spirit, manifesting through all the different levels of our dimensionality being and the universe, opening to that wisdom guidance to help us wake up and remember the truth of nature, the truth of how nature works. And so our scientists tell us through physics that there's no such thing as a separate thing. We're all connected.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's what comes up for me, and recognizing that we do have different truths, and they come from our experiences, and let's explore our experiences as human beings and the stories we created in response to our experiences. And does that really hold weight? Does those stories really hold weight or not? And be open to change and healing, and connecting with each other as human beings underneath our virtual reality programs, where we are connected. We're not separate. We're connected. And how can we learn how to treat each other in a kinder way and recognize the divinity in all of us, and work cooperatively to achieve the potentials we're capable of realizing in this life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. I makes me think of like being in ceremony, and one of the teachings that I've gotten guidance from you, and then experienced it myself in plant medicine ceremonies, working with different indigenous elders and you, is when you get to a point, like as you're going into ceremony and you feel fear, or you feel nauseous, or you feel some challenging fear, and sometimes you literally feel like you're about to die, that it's like going to meet that, whatever it is, and say like, hey, I see you, I feel you, I hear you, I'm listening. What are you here to teach me? And so I think, and that then allows you to surrender into it. So you're not like butting your head against that kind of dark energy, right? You're meeting it, and kind of a Tai Chi-ish way of trying to learn from it, move with it.